Welcome back to the Roundtable. I'm Ostrich Vox, and Cartoon Network took the entire world by storm by recently announcing a sequel series to Adventure Time, cleverly titled Adventure Time Distant Lands. Premiering in 2020, this successor series will revisit the characters of Adventure Time we know and love. Right off the bat, we have Finn, Jake, Marceline, Princess Bubblegum, and BMO. This time seemingly shifting away from the post-apocalyptic world of Ooh to indulge in a much bigger frontier, outer space. I'm going to break down everything you need to know about this upcoming series, including some burning questions you may have, such as why make a follow-up to Adventure Time so soon, and why is it going to be behind the paywall of HBO Max? Why not just put it on cable? Rest assured, there's a logical explanation for everything. And honestly, I find it to be a pretty genius move. Of course, spoiler warning, if you do not want to know anything about Adventure Time Distant Lands, because we will be diving to the plot, or at least what we know of it so far, click off now. And with all that said, let's dive in. So although you might have been blindsided by this announcement, there was actually enough vague information to piece together that something Adventure Time related was happening. We just couldn't report on it before because even though we didn't know exactly what this thing was, the lingering fear of accidentally violating NDAs by talking about things I didn't even see paralyzes me. Steve Houllette, retired leader of the Animation Guild, let slip a little while ago that Adamuto had a very secret project in the works over at Cartoon Network, going under the false name of Rumblejaw, but elaborating in the comments section that as far as he knew, it was a special featuring the characters of Adventure Time. And yeah, if you hear Adamuto of all people working on a secret project, the fact that it's secret at Cartoon Network of all studios, you can probably assume it's Adventure Time related. I imagine keeping this project a secret was kinda stressful, but also kinda fun for the team behind it, so I'm hoping if possible, they'll share some goofs and gaffs behind the project's secrecy in the future. The official announcement of what exactly Rumblejaw was came from Cartoon Network's various social media platforms on Wednesday, October 23rd at 1 p.m. Cartoon Network revealing, "Welcome back, friends. Come along for new specials. Adventure Time Distant Lands, premiering in the US exclusively on HBO Max in 2020. The fun will never end." And of course, this was accompanied with that old-fashioned Adventure Time artwork, revealing Finn with a new robot arm, and equipped with what appears to be a wand with a snake around it, because who needs swords when you're in outer space? An updated color palette for his shirt and pants, similar to another Cartoon Network protagonist, Steven Universe, and his updated wardrobe in both Steven Universe the movie and Steven Universe Future, Jake the dog, Peppermint Butler, Sheriff BMO, Astronaut Princess Bubblegum, Marcy the Vampire Queen going through her own wardrobe change, complete with a stylish haircut, and a slew of brand new characters. Now, more information came from a press release from TV Line, which reads, HBO Max is taking us back to the land of Ooh with 4 new Adventure Time specials. Billed as Adventure Time Distant Lands, the 1-hour episodes will reunite fans with characters from the original series, which wrapped its 10-season run on Cartoon Network in 2018. There are currently 4 planned installments for Distant Lands, the first 2 of which are set to debut on HBO Max sometime in 2020. I'm personally hoping the first one would be around April to commemorate the 10-year anniversary. The synopsis for these 4 specials read, BMO. When there's a deadly space emergency in the farthest reaches of the galaxy, there's only one hero to call, and it's probably not BMO. Except that this time, it is Obsidian. Marceline and Princess Bubblegum journey to the imposing, beautiful Glass Kingdom and deep into their tumultuous past to prevent an earth-shaking catastrophe. Wizard City. Peppermint Butler starts over at the beginning as just another inexperienced Wizard School student. When mysterious events at the campus cast suspicion on Pep and his checkered past, can he master the mystic arts in time to prove his innocence? And last but not least, there's Together Again. Finn and Jake reunite to rediscover their brotherly bond and embark on the most important adventure of their lives. Now, just from these episode descriptions, you may notice that it seems Adventure Time Distant Lands will be more of an anthology series, with each episode or special focusing on different characters, which may make the poster feel a little bit misleading. I thought our cast of characters would be back together again. That's my inner monologue voice. But I have a hunch even with this anthology format, we'll see characters pop up in each other's specials. Like Finn and Jake would have a supporting role in either BMO or Obsidian, or or whatever happens in BMO's self-titled episode will be explored in Together Again. All of these adventures connecting. And hey, considering Wizard City is about Peppermint Butler mastering the mystical arts, and we see Finn strapped with a brand new wand in the poster, I think that's just enough to clue us in that yeah, these episodes will intermingle into one another, and that when all 4 parts are laid out by 2021, you will get a satisfying, complete experience. Now, this press release also rounds out with, Adventure Time was a groundbreaking series and a creative playground for so many talented creative artists. Producing Adventure Time Distant Lands for HBO Max will allow our studio to explore this beloved world in an all-new format. And with that last sentence speaking about an all-new format, let's shift over into some of the questions you probably have, such as, why end Adventure Time at all if it was going to be revived so soon? And while this is just conjecture, I would assume that, well, what we're seeing is a shift from cable to streaming impacting business decisions because at the end of the day, Cartoon Network, Warner Media as a whole, these are all companies. And while they are driven by creativity and innovation, they also need to make a profit. So I imagine when the network decided to end Adventure Time in 2016, they probably figured, yes, this series is huge, it's monumental, but it also has more than enough episodes. And with the ratings of Adventure Time in particular not doing all too hot, if memory serves, this was around the time we were getting episodes less and less frequently, and new episodes would premiere at the oddest time like Saturdays in the middle of the afternoon. So all in all, it just made sense for Cartoon Network to close this chapter, but leaving the door open to pick up the pieces shortly after. However, if I'm even remotely correct to this timeline, pretty much as soon as Adventure Time wrapped production, we really began to see the impact of streaming taking over. Keep in mind, in 2016, Cartoon Network's ratings weren't too shabby. The Summer of Steven event was averaging 900,000 to 1 million viewers, with the episode Bismuth garnering over 2 million viewers, and of course their other beloved properties like Teen Titans Go was killing it in ratings. But by the following year, 2017, we started seeing more and more lows for beloved series. Look at it like this. By the beginning of 2017, Steven Universe hit a series low of what I believe to be around 800 to 900,000, which still wasn't too bad. Yet by the end of the year, the second batch of season 5 episodes only averaged about 500,000 viewers during their TV premiere. Now granted, because I'm talking about Steven Universe in particular, you could point this to the exceptionally long hiatus, and the fact these episodes premiered on the app about a month before they aired on television, but I think those numbers are still pretty shocking, and they were out of the network's control. Because if you look at ratings all across the board, the decline is nearly universal. So when Adventure Time wrapped in 2017, I'm sure the network probably thought, alright, maybe the streaming gig is onto something. While our parent company figures out their streaming service, let's start putting a bigger focus on the app. And with streaming taking over, and Turner being acquired and transformed into Warner Media shortly after, there could have been a sudden need for a big hit, allowing Adam Muto to step in and pretty much immediately revive Adventure Time, but this time with a new spin on it. And that, my friends, leads me into another question you may have. Why HBO Max? Why can't these 4 specials find their way on Cartoon Network? And well, I think that conversation goes beyond ratings, beyond cable being in the toilet. Although yes, I'm sure that's a prominent factor. Something we the public don't have access to are streaming numbers. Direct evidence of what people are watching online, what all the cord cutters and cool kids are into nowadays. And they likely would have found that something universal watched by kids, families, and adults was, you guessed it, Adventure Time. Because keep in mind, even when Adventure Time premiered, it immediately hooked in an audience of adults. Adults who even now would still be interested in the series. And the kids and tweens who watched Adventure Time when it premiered, they're full-blown adults now. And theoretically, they would be able to afford an HBO Max subscription. Now it appears HBO Max isn't going for a family-friendly angle, it's going for a, well, everything angle. Adults, family, kids, weeaboos, everyone! There's something here for every individual to enjoy. But how do you make sure you hook those people in? Well, we see that they're already making power moves by being the first streaming service to secure Studio Ghibli rights, and the announcement of 2 new seasons of The Boondocks, but they still needed one more universal hook, something that the general masses would want to see, no questions asked. But after the emotional, heartfelt ending that was Come Along With Me, they couldn't just bring back Adventure Time as normal, they had to do something different, something that still adapts to streaming. Well, what's become a popular model with shows on streaming services that animation hasn't really dived into? What about longer runtimes? So many original series on Netflix, Hulu, HBO, Showtime, etc. They all have longer runtimes. Pushing beyond that, half-hour block and occupying hour-long episodes. This especially rings true with series aimed at adults. Again, adults like Adventure Time, so what's more enticing to them than a version of Adventure Time that runs for an hour long? Not to mention, being made for a streaming service could drastically reduce censorship and what they can and cannot show. Because after all, if they have to worry about this airing on TV, who cares if it gets banned in other countries? People are going to be directly paying for this show with their wallets. So elements such as the relationship between Marceline and Princess Bubblegum can be fleshed out, a bit more nonchalant and just casual. Their love just simply exists in the show with no need to hide it, which should have been the case the entire time. Beyond representation, they could also probably get a bit more raunchy like the earlier seasons of the show, or even push the boundaries of violence to the limits. Guys, this series can truly change the game for the animation industry. If it and HBO Max is successful, which I'm hoping it is, other animated series could return with their own sequel series or specials. Hour-long episodes of animated series could become, well, normalized in the industry. Maybe not the standard, but we'd certainly see it a lot more. And anything this series can get away with, whether if it is representation, raunchiness, or violence, can lay the groundwork for future animated series. Because, after all, every business wants to meet success. And the best way to meet success nowadays is putting your own spin on what works. So, essentially, Adventure Time is still going to be as influential now, 10 years later, as it was when it first premiered. All the great and sudden change it brought to the industry all those years ago will suddenly have a repeat now, because Cartoon Network and Warner Media as a whole is putting faith and trust into Adam Muto and his team, which seems to be full of well-seasoned, amazing storyboarders, background artists, directors of all sorts. The list goes on. Cartoon Network is bringing their A-game, and honestly, I can't wait to dig in, and I can't wait to see what ramifications the series will have on the future of cartoons. But as always, these are just my thoughts, and I want to hear yours. What do you think? Are you excited for Adventure Time Distant Lands? And which episode piques your interest the most? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below, or tweet your thoughts at Roundtable Vids. And for more of my own thoughts, you can find me at OstricVox. We're also on Instagram. Help the will grow by either becoming a member of this channel or supporting us over at Patreon. Link in the description. If you enjoyed this video, please throw it a like and subscribe to the Roundtable for more great cartoon content. Thank you for watching, and I hope you have an awesome day. OstricVox, signing out.